With square one art, it's important to realize anything within an inch might get cropped, so I draw a very, very light guideline 2 fingers away from the edge to make sure that the important stuff stays far enough not to get cropped. I'm going to make a very simple, sort of Keith Haring style drawing of a dog as a DJ. I want to keep it very simple and cartoonish, using simple shapes to represent the figures and not so worried about it being realistic. Now, after I sketch everything first with pencil, then I'm going to use markers. And what I'm going to do is outline everything in black, and then I'm going to make patterns and designs in the negative space around my dog rather than filling in the dog itself. I'm going to create contrast by having bright, bold colors all around it and leaving the silhouette as more or less a blank shape. As I outline the figure, I'm going to try to use the edge of the marker instead of the tip of the marker, because the edge of the marker is going to give me a wider line, so I have a thicker stripe that is going to go all around it, and it makes it easier for me to make the striped pattern with no white spaces in between the stripes. What I'm going to do is go, in this case, in rainbow order, although you could choose a different color scheme if you wanted. But I make one stripe around each figure, then move on to the next shape with another stripe around each of them, because these stripes are going to start to bump into each other and alter the shape of the remaining negative space. So it's best to do one stripe around each musical note and the dog, then the second stripe, and so on down the line. As I make these stripes, I want to pay close attention to make sure that I'm not leaving any white spaces or gaps in between them. So again, I try to use the edge of the marker. The thicker edge is going to give me a thicker line, which is going to work better for the stripes. After I've made all the stripes around the figure, in this case it's a rainbow around them, then I'm going to switch to black to create contrast, and in this case I am using the tip of the marker to create line designs, so I want to have thinner lines. And as I create these line designs, it's basically random, but I try to create variety. So I try to think of all the different types of lines: swirling, zigzag, wavy, straight, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and so on. I try to create all different line designs. I just try not to cross any of the lines that I've already drawn, and I want to have so many lines that it's basically half black and half white. After creating the line designs, the blank space at the bottom was sort of bothering me, so I decided to make a pattern of polka dots, but keep it a little bit more colorful to create, again, a little bit of contrast, but also add a little bit of color. I thought about sort of the Impressionist and Pointillist style optical color theory, so I decided to have the dots become a little bit more sparse towards the bottom edge, but mix in some purple with my blue polka dots near the top edge of the table, so that I get a little bit of variation in the tone as well. As a final step, I always recommend signing your work, putting your name and the year, but make sure you keep it at least an inch away from the edge so your name doesn't get cropped.